Welcome to Star Chill Vibes. Dive into the universe of astrology, cosmic energies, and celestial insights with a relaxed, fun twist. Perfect for stargazers who love to vibe with the cosmos. Get your dose of Zodiac, moon moods, and spacey good vibes.
So glad to be here. We're about to get into a really detailed deep dive today, and our focus, it's all on Scorpio, sun and rising placements for the entire year of 2026.
Yes, and our mission here is to give you this month-by-month breakdown of all the energies. It's more than just a forecast, really. Think of it as a strategic guide for what we're calling the year of integration.
Integration is the perfect word for it, because for Scorpio, 2026 is all about blending that inherent intensity you have with, well, a kind of necessary spiritual release. It's a delicate balance.
And the big picture for this year is just, it's huge.
It's massive. I mean, 2026 is probably one of the most transformative years of this decade.
Yeah.
You have all the big players, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, all of them are finally settling into new signs. It's like the energetic foundation for the next 20, 30 years is being poured.
And for a fixed sign like Scorpio, that has to feel incredibly intense.
You're part of that fixed cross, right? With Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius.
Exactly. So that means you're constantly feeling this fundamental friction. It's this pull between your identity, your home, your shared resources, and your career. It's a year where your whole sense of security is being challenged, but also, weirdly, reinforced in a new way.
So the lesson is that the deep internal work with Pluto and Uranus has to be matched by these big external moves with Jupiter.
That's the test. Can you hold steady while the ground is literally shifting beneath your feet? And that all starts right at the beginning of the year. That's where the groundwork is laid.
Okay, so let's start there. Part one, the winter months. January feels like it's starting on a pretty expansive note, but also a reflective one. We're talking emotional grounding, new structures, and a lot of that seems to be coming from Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter's finishing up its tour in Cancer. And for you, Scorpio, Cancer is your solar 9th house. That's the part of your chart that deals with higher learning, philosophy, your belief systems, even long-distance travel. And Jupiter in Cancer is a really good thing, isn't it? It's exalted there.
It's the best. Jupiter is at its peak power in Cancer. It maximizes all of its gifts, protection, luck, expansion. So you've likely felt this throughout 2025, this widening of your worldview. But it turns direct on March 10th at 15 degrees Cancer, which is like a final, powerful surge of that energy.
So before it leaves in June, this is the time to, finish that dissertation, publish the book, take that big trip you've been dreaming about.
Yes, all of the above. You want to leverage every last drop of that expansive energy because the focus is going to shift pretty dramatically to your career later on. This is your chance to really solidify a new philosophy, a new way of seeing the world.
But at the same time, it's not all forward momentum. There's a major reflective period happening thanks to Mars. And Mars is one of Scorpio's rulers.
Your co-ruler, yes. And Mars retrograde can feel like you're trying to drive with the parking brake on.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
And because it's in Cancer in that same 9th house, that frustration has to feel really internal, really emotional.
Absolutely. So from January 8th to March 18th, Mars is retrograde in Cancer. And Mars is all about action, drive, assertion. In an emotional water sign like Cancer, a retrograde forces you to turn inward. You're not just pausing your actions, you're being forced to review the emotions behind your actions.
So instead of launching a new venture, you should be, journaling, meditating.
Exactly. Dream journaling, deep meditation, maybe even therapy to explore old emotional patterns tied to your beliefs or your education. This transit is asking you to align what you do with what you feel with real clarity.
And avoiding those moody impulses. Mars in Cancer can be pretty defensive.
Very. So the work is to nurture your goals with emotional intelligence, not just push through with aggression. You have to master your own internal ocean before you can navigate the wider world.
Okay, and while all that inner work is going on, the biggest theme of the year of the next 2 decades really is settling in. We're talking about Pluto and Aquarius.
This is the big one. Pluto, the planet of, total transformation, destruction, and rebirth, is now firmly in your solar 4th house.
Home, family, roots, our emotional foundations, that's deep.
It's the deepest part of the chart. For the next 20 years, your entire sense of security is being completely overhauled. The 4th house is your sanctuary, your private core. Pluto here is like a metaphysical renovation down to the studs.
Is that always a literal thing, like moving house? Or is it more psychological?
It's often both, but the root is always psychological. Pluto demands you unearth old family patterns, generational trauma, And yes, sometimes it requires the painful destruction of old domestic situations or family dynamics that you've outgrown. The goal is to build a sense of security that is unshakable, because it comes from within you, not from a place or a person.
That's such an intense backdrop for the whole year, and it gets a spotlight early on with that solar eclipse in February.
It does. The annular solar eclipse on February 17th is at 28 degrees of Aquarius, so it's deep in that fourth house. Solar eclipses are all about powerful new beginnings.
Right, they kind of speed everything up.
Exactly. So this eclipse points to a major new start related to your home, but with an Aquarian flavor. Think innovation, technology, community. Maybe you embrace a more modern living situation, or you start using your home as a hub for a group or a cause you believe in.
So it's less about choosing a new paint color and more like your entire emotional operating system is getting a mandatory upgrade.
That's a perfect way to put it, and you have to embrace it. For a Scorpio who likes control, this can be hard, but trying to cling to old traditions or old roots right now is going to be, well, a losing battle. The universe is pushing you toward a future-focused idea of home.
As we get into February and March, the vibe shifts a little. We're looking at dreams, discipline, and the end of a long creative cycle.
This is all about Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011, which is a long, long time, and Saturn joined it more recently. This whole combination has been affecting your fifth house.
The fifth house, creativity, romance, self-expression, children, fun.
All the good stuff. So for the last couple of years, with Saturn there, you might have found it easier to give structure to your creative dreams, to make something tangible out of your imagination.
Bringing form to the formless.
Precise structure meets vision. So the beginning of 2026 is your chance to really bring a dream to fruition, especially something artistic or romantic, before Neptune fully moves on. You're harvesting the results of some very long-term efforts.
And we get a huge punctuation mark on all of this with the lunar eclipse in Virgo in March.
A total lunar eclipse, no less. On March 3rd, at 12 degrees Virgo, which hits your solar 11th house.
Friends, groups, hopes, long-term goals.
Right, and lunar eclipses are about emotional endings and culminations. So this one is demanding clarity and organization in your social life. Virgo energy is very discerning.
So you might suddenly realize a friendship or a whole community you're part of just doesn't fit with the person you're becoming.
Precisely. You're letting go of social circles or ambitions that are draining you or are simply outdated. You have to clear out that energy, because you're going to need it for the massive career push that's coming in the summer.
And just to make things interesting, Mercury decides to go retrograde right in the middle of all this.
Of course it does. From February 25th to March 20th, it's retrograde in Pisces, right back in that fifth house of creativity and romance. This is the first of 3 water sign retrogrades this year, so it's all about deep emotional processing.
Old flames, shelved creative projects, that sort of thing.
That's the classic manifestation. It's a time to revisit, reconsider, and reflect. But with Pisces, things can feel a bit blurry or confusing.
So how does a Scorpio navigate that without getting lost in illusion?
You have to be really mindful about communication, especially in romance. Double check everything. But the real gift here is emotional clarity. It's a chance to review your self-expression and ask, am I seeing this situation, this person, this project for what it really is? Or am I still wearing the rose-colored glasses? It's a final alignment of your heart and your head before the acceleration of spring really kicks in.
Okay, because it sounds like once we hit April, things really take off. The reflective phase is over, and we're entering this period of massive disruptive energy.
The intensity gets dialed way up. April brings us one of the biggest astrological shifts of the decade. Uranus officially moves into Gemini.
And for Scorpio, that's the 8th house.
That's the 8th house. Uranus, the great awakener, the planet of revolution and shock, moves into Gemini on April 26th and stays there until 2033. And it's moving into the house that is already associated with Scorpio energy. Shared resources, intimacy, debt, transformation, the deep hidden stuff.
So what does a Uranus shock in the 8th house actually look like?
It means radical, sudden, unpredictable changes. It could be in your joint finances, a mortgage, a large debt, investments you share with a partner. It could also be a complete revolution in how you approach psychological or sexual intimacy. Things like a sudden inheritance, an unexpected tax bill, or a desire to explore a totally unconventional type of partnership could all come up.
It's not a slow, planned change then. It's a lightning strike.
It's a lightning strike. This is not about tweaking your budget. It's about a sudden pivot that forces you to think about shared power and shared money in a completely new, maybe even technological way. Cryptocurrency, online ventures with a partner, things like that could become huge themes.
And this is where that fixed cross pressure really becomes unbearable, isn't it? Pluto is shaking your foundations in the 4th house, and now Uranus is destabilizing your shared finances in the 8th.
That's the pressure cooker right there.
Yeah.
You're being forced to look at every attachment you have to external security, whether it's property or a partner's income. The universe is basically saying your security has to come from you, and only you. It must be self-generated.
So how can you possibly focus on the big career boost from Jupiter that's coming later if all this chaos is happening at the root level?
That is the challenge of 2026. That's the integration. The chaos in the 4th and 8th houses is actually the preparation. It's forging you into someone incredibly resilient and self-reliant. The public recognition you get from Jupiter later in the year is the reward for having mastered that internal instability.
So you have to prove you can handle the chaos before you get the crown.
You got it. Luckily, there's a little help. There's a supportive aspect, a sextile between Saturn and Pluto that's active around March and April.
A sextile between those two sounds like a good thing. A stabilizer.
It is. It offers the self-discipline and endurance you need to make these changes without it feeling like a total breakdown. It helps you work with the transformative energy, not just fight against it. It's about maturing into this new level of power.
And then May brings a very personal moment of culmination.
Yes, the full moon in Scorpio on May 1st. A full moon in your own sign, your 1st house, is always a powerful moment of emotional revelation about who you are. And since the sun is opposite in Taurus in your 7th house of partnership, it's really a moment of clarity about yourself in relation to another person.
A decision point in a relationship, maybe?
It could be. Or just a moment where you finally step into a new identity you've been building and see yourself clearly for the first time.
As we move into June, the energy pivots again. It feels like we're moving from all this deep internal work to a very public phase.
A massive pivot, all thanks to Jupiter. On June 30th, Jupiter leaves that cozy spot in Cancer and moves into the big, bold, dramatic fire sign of Leo.
And Leo is Scorpio's 10th house.
Exactly. A house of career, public image, legacy, your status in the world. This is monumental.
This is the career boost we were talking about.
This is it. From June until December, Jupiter in your 10th house brings major professional growth, opportunities, recognition. You'll feel this incredible surge of confidence, of leadership ability. You'll feel seen by the right people. This is the time to aim high, launch the big project, ask for the promotion.
And the success that comes from this transit, it's not fleeting, is it?
Not at all. Jupiter in Leo wants public, lasting achievement. It wants you to take up space, to be an authority. And because you've done all that deep Pluto and Uranus work, your success will be built on real integrity and power, not just superficial charm.
But of course, just as the career engine is revving up, Saturn says, hold on, let's check under the hood.
That's a perfect analogy. Saturn turns retrograde in Aries on June 29th, and Aries is your 6th house.
Health, daily routines, your job, service.
Right, so this retrograde period forces you to review and rework the daily structures that support your life. All the discipline you applied to your health or your work systems earlier in the year now needs to be refined.
So you could be getting a huge promotion, but at the same time realizing your work-life balance is completely unsustainable.
Precisely. Saturn retrograde in the 6th says your daily habits have to be strong enough to support the success Jupiter is bringing. If you've been cutting corners on sleep, on nutrition, on how you manage your team, this is where you have to fix it. This review lasts all the way until December, so the whole second half of the year is this dance between huge public growth and very rigorous private refinement.
Okay, so that brings us to summer, July through September. It sounds like after all that pressure, the universe offers a bit of a supportive flow.
It does. These months feel less like chaos and more like purposeful evolution. There's some really beautiful, helpful connections in the sky.
And July kicks off with a big one, Uranus sextile Neptune.
On July 15th, yes. This is part of a longer series of aspects happening in the mid-2020s, and it's connecting vision, which is Neptune, with invention and revolution, which is Uranus.
So for Scorpio, that's Uranus in the 8th house of transformation connecting with Neptune, which is straddling your 5th and 6th houses of creativity and daily work. What does that feel like?
It feels like your most imaginative ideas suddenly feel workable, practical even. A stroke of genius about how to restructure a debt, that's the 8th house, might come to you through a creative project or a new health routine. It's this moment where you see how to ground your biggest, wildest visions into reality.
So the upheaval starts to feel like it has a purpose.
A profound purpose. And then just 10 days later, on July 25th, we get another beautiful connection, Neptune sextile Pluto.
That sounds incredibly powerful for Scorpio, given your connection to Pluto.
It's deeply supportive. It aligns your intuition and your dreams with this sense that profound change is possible without having to force it. Pluto is transforming your roots in the 4th house, and Neptune is giving you the spiritual vision from the 5th and 6th. It's a green light from the cosmos to trust your gut.
It's like the emotional support you need to handle all the intensity. But just as things are flowing, Mars, your ruler, decides to go a bit wild.
It goes out of bounds, or OOB, from August 3rd to August 28th. This means its energy is unbridled, unpredictable, maybe a little rebellious. And since Mars is likely in your 5th house of self-expression at this time, it points to taking a huge creative risk.
A risk you normally wouldn't take.
One you wouldn't even dare to consider. It could be a sudden, bold, romantic gesture, or launching a really unconventional artistic project. The energy is massive and unrestrained, and the key is to channel it productively into that career surge that's about to peak.
And that peak comes in August with a massive eclipse, right?
The absolute zenith. On August 12th, we have a total solar eclipse in Leo, right in your 10th house of career and public image. This is a powerful new beginning for your professional life, your legacy.
This sounds like the big spotlight moment, the reward for all the hard work.
It is. It lines up perfectly with Jupiter in Leo. It's a time for a major breakthrough. You could get an award, launch your own company, take on a leadership role that completely changes your public standing. The universe is saying, we see you. Step into your power.
And as that public cycle is starting, a big karmic chapter is closing.
A very significant one. On August 18th, the North Node leaves Pisces and your 5th house. This closes a 2-year cycle of karmic lessons around romance, creativity, faith, and illusion. You've learned what you needed to learn there.
And there's one final punctuation mark on that.
Yes, the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28th. This brings a final, definitive ending to a creative project, a romantic situation, or something involving your children. It's the final tie being severed so you can move forward with grace.
So September feels like the calm before the storm of the end of the year.
It is. The Neptune-Pluto sextile comes back on September 15th just to remind you that your deep inner work is creating the spiritual alignment you need to succeed. It's reinforcing that balance between force and faith. And you're going to need that balance for what's coming in October.
We've arrived at the climax, what you're calling the Scorpio retrograde vortex. October and November sound like they are the most intense period of the entire year.
It's peak intensity for sure. You have a rare dual retrograde. Both Venus and Mercury will be moving backwards through Scorpio, your 1st house of identity, and then into Libra, your 12th house of the hidden self.
Let's break that down. It starts with Venus, the planet of love, values, money. Retrograding in your own sign must feel incredibly personal.
It's as personal as it gets. On October 3rd, Venus stations retrograde in Scorpio. This pulls you deep inside yourself to look at your relationships, your self-worth, and your power dynamics. You're forced to scrutinize what and who you truly value.
So you're asking, does this person, this commitment, this investment, does it truly align with who I am now?
Exactly. It can bring up some drama, but the purpose is to cleanse and purify your attachments. You're redefining what is worthy of your loyalty.
And right in the middle of that, the sun meets up with Venus.
On October 23rd, yes. This is the Sun conjunct retrograde Venus in Scorpio. It dramatically amplifies your natural magnetism and charisma. It can be a wonderful time to deepen a bond with incredible honesty.
But there's a catch.
The catch is that Venus in Scorpio can be prone to jealousy, possessiveness, vanity. So the reflection is about where you're getting your self-worth. Is it coming from inside, or are you needing others to validate your power?
And just as we're processing that, Mercury joins the party.
The very next day. From October 24th to November 13th, Mercury retrogrades in Scorpio, also in your 1st house. This forces a review of how you think and how you communicate your deepest truths. It stirs up everything you might have hidden, even from yourself.
So this is prime time for therapy, journaling, having those really difficult conversations you've been avoiding.
It's the perfect time for it. We really recommend using this period as a necessary slowdown. It's an intense rest at the end of a very transformative year. Just don't sign any contracts. Instead, revise your own story, your personal narrative.
But the retrogrades don't just stay in Scorpio, they both back into Libra, which is the really challenging 12th house.
And this is the most karmic, complex part of the year. As Venus and Mercury move back into Libra, your 12th house of endings and hidden matters, the focus shifts. It becomes about renegotiating partnerships and communications, but in the context of your subconscious, your self-sabotage, and your karma.
So this is where the ghosts of relationships past come back to haunt you.
It's a very good way to put it. The 12th house can bring back old lovers, old unresolved issues, especially ones where there was a lack of fairness or balance. It can dredge up all the ick, the old resentments, the hidden scores to settle.
But the purpose isn't just to make you miserable.
No. The purpose is to give you the clarity you need to finally achieve karmic closure, to truly forgive someone, or to finally sever a tie with grace so you can enter the new year clean. It's a deep spiritual house cleaning.
And finally, we get to December, and it sounds like things start to solidify.
They do. On December 11th, Saturn stations direct in Aries back in your 6th house of work and health. This is the green light. The review period that started in June is over. You can now confidently move forward with the new, refined daily structures you've built for yourself.
So you've built a foundation that's strong enough to hold all the success that Jupiter has brought.
It's strong enough, and you are too. You end 2026 having navigated this insane recalibration. You've managed the fixed cross pressure, the foundational destruction, the financial chaos, and the public expansion. You should feel so much more in command of your life.
Wow, this has been a colossal deep dive. That theme of integration really feels right. It's about weaving together all these intense and sometimes contradictory energies.
It is. 2026 is a monumental year for you, and the key lesson you learn is this subtle art of surrender. Surrendering to the chaos and the necessary change, while at the same time holding and asserting your own authority.
That brings up such a fascinating final thought, especially for the collective. We have Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, the sign of the self, of action. And for you, Scorpio, this is in your house of daily service. How will your mastery of deep emotional truth, the power you've gained from all this transformation, how will that influence the world's willingness to step into a new, more authentic identity?
That's the real question, isn't it? That new identity has to be built on integrity and the courage to face our own shadows, which is a lesson you, Scorpio, will know better than anyone. How personal mastery translates to collective leadership is definitely something to think about.
If you vibed with this deep dive, take a moment to drop a comment below, let us know what stood out to you, and please like and subscribe to Star Chill Vibes. We appreciate your support as we continue to explore the cosmos together.